welcome back. Okay, we are now in the chapter 10, which is rigid body equilibrium 3 dimension. Okay, the previous chapter 9 is also rigid body but equilibrium in 2 dimension, where we have seen for rigid body how to calculate the force reacting on a component or reaction force on the at the end of each component at the support point. And now we are in 3 dimension. Okay, so this chapter alone, if you are just new to come directly to this chapter, you cannot answer the question, because it must have you must have the knowledge from all the previous chapters. Having said that, because we have in this chapter we have sigma fx equal to 0, sigma fy, sigma fz equal to 0, plus sigma moment x direction, sigma moment y direction, sigma moment z direction equal to 0. So we will have 6 equations. 6 equations normally for the purpose of our study. Okay, in this syllabus we will allow up to 6 unknown. Okay, 6 unknown with 6 equations, and then we can solve the simultaneous equation. Okay, this sigma moment equal of x, fy, and z doesn't mean that we take the moment in the x-axis or in the y-axis or in the z-axis. No, we are actually taking the moment at any point. Okay, we will choose the suitable point to take the moment. So the moment that you need to know is moment about a point. Okay, so you take moment about a point. So when you calculate moment about point, your result will be moment equal to moment in x, moment in y, moment in z, and there is several moment. Okay, several moment because of several forces in this rigid body. There will be several forces. Forces, so there will be several moments. So you will add up all the moment in x direction, in y direction, in z direction to become 0. Okay, so it is actually moment about a point, not moment about an axis. Okay, so what I said, you have to know the previous section, meaning that you have to know how to add the force vector in x, y, and z direction, because if you want to have this x, y, z, you have to know how to add this one. Okay, using any method that we have learned previously. And it is in 3 dimensions. So given any forces in 3 dimensions, you have to know how to convert this force in 3 dimensions. In terms of 3 dimensions, is either using first angle method, second angle method, or coordinate method. Okay, so you have to know how to convert that one, any given force, in terms of 3D notation. Okay, in terms of I, J, and K. And then you have to also capable of calculate the moment about an axis, about a point, which is R cross F. We have already learned this one also. And you have to be able to also draw the correct free body diagram before you start answering the question. So each time you get the question of equilibrium 3D, so make sure you draw first the free body diagram. For the purpose of our syllabus, the drawing of that free body diagram also will give you several marks. Okay, so make sure you draw correct free body diagram with the distance. Okay, correct distance, because it is used to calculate the moment later on. So free body diagram is very important. So that's why you really need to understand the previous chapters before you can come up to this chapter. Okay, this chapter only the utilization and application on the rigid body only. Okay, the how is already covered in previous chapter. Okay, so free body diagram. Inside the free body diagram, you will notice that previously we have learned about the first thing we will put is we will separate the component. Okay, I will not write it again because I've already repeated several times. So first we will separate the component to make sure that we know what is involved, the forces involved, external forces, and also the if there is any cable or spring and so on. Okay, the first one. And then if the component have mass, you put mass mg at the center of gravity of each component down to the downward mg. And then if there is external forces, you put just directly all the external forces. Make sure it is correct to that specific location, because it will be used during calculation of the moment. And then lastly is the reaction force. We have see several reaction force. in 2 dimension, but today I will just explain a little bit more for 3 dimension. Okay, so we will refer to this table, which is table 10.2, page 163. So this one, sorry. This table, okay, you can refer to your book about this table. Okay, the figure is given here, but the explanation is given in here. Okay, in the page before. So you have the explanation. Okay, so we start by the first one. We have here the frictionless surface or ball on a surface. Frictionless surface meaning that, for example, we have one surface like this one, and it is really frictionless. The mu, okay, is equal to 0, meaning that the component is free to move at any location. Okay, so let's say this is x, y is this direction, and z is direction. So z, x, and y. So component is free to move at any of these direction, but it cannot go further beyond this surface. Okay, so the one that push the component from moving further is the reaction force. So meaning that here is free to move at any location, but you will have one, let's say this one, reaction force upward, because it is pushing the component from moving inside. So there is a, if there is here A, just put AY for example, 1, or it is a normal force also. Okay, AY or normal force something. So on the Y direction, you cannot go further, so something pushing upward, so there is a AY there. Okay, and AY there. Second one is the fixed support. I've shown you in 2 dimension. From this one, you cannot move in any of the direction. Okay, you from this the 2D, you see that you have x, y, but now in the z that we have the third one z, so of course we have x, y, and z direction. All three direction you cannot move, and also you cannot rotate. In x, you cannot rotate. So first I will put, okay, one force in, let's say this is A, so AZ, the other one is AX, third one is AY. Okay, because all these 3 directions you cannot move, it is fixed, really fixed. Now it cannot also rotate, because let's say this is my Y, my X. So this component, if I'm pushing this direction, we want to rotate along the X. This is the component. So this is the X. You want to rotate along X direction. So this is X. You want to rotate along X direction. You can rotate because it is hold something. So there must be a moment in X direction. Okay. Moment in X direction. Now this component is here. You want to rotate along Y axis. So but it is hold fixed. So there will be also one moment on Y. Now it want to rotate in Z direction. So it also will have moment in Z. Okay, so the fixed joint, you will see there is the maximum reaction, which is 3 for forces and 3 for moment. Okay, that's for fixed joint. Now next is the roller on rough surface. Okay, roller on rough surface, this one. Okay, roller on rough surface meaning that this roller can turn this direction. Okay, so it is free to move this direction. Okay, so because the direction of the roller is this way, so it is free to move this direction. But it is a rough surface, meaning that if you want to move laterally this direction, it cannot move because there is a friction. It can move, but there is a friction force. Okay, there is a friction force. Okay, so you cannot move this direction. There is friction. You want to go down to beyond this surface, you cannot also. So there will be 2, one down and one to this direction. The front direction in Z this way, because the roller itself that will rotate, not the movement. Okay, so the roller will rotate, so there will be no friction on that roller. So there will be here 1 AX, the other one is AY. Only 2. The movement in Z is free because it is a roller. So we have 1 and 2. The next one is the universal joint. Okay, universal joint. Maybe I have another universal joint. With this one. This one. Universal joint. Okay, still from this here, universal joint. Okay, So universal join, so make it this direction. Okay, so in this figure, let's say which one in universal join X. Okay, okay, let's say we have a universal join along X direction, which is here, along X direction. Now, this is X, this is Z, and this is Y. So, when this component won't rotate along, okay, is here, along, we have, okay, here is X, okay, along Z direction, it can freely rotate. You can see, if I fix here, it can freely rotate, this one, okay, freely rotate, so there's no moment in Z direction, Z rotation, okay. Now, oh, sorry, so actually this is, if this is Y, this is actually rotation in about Y axis. So there's free to rotate about Y axis. This is Z axis, so you want to rotate Z axis, so you can rotate this way. Okay, so it's also free to rotate in Z axis. Now this one is whole, and then I want to rotate in X axis, which is this rotation. So I want to rotate in X axis. I cannot rotate in X axis if this part is fixed. So if I want to rotate, everything must be rotate. So there is a moment in Z direction. So in terms of moment, there will be moment Z, moment X, and moment Y is 0. But if I'm fixing this one, I want to just move this component to X direction. I cannot, because there is stringent here. So there is a force in the X. I want to move it upward, also cannot, because it is here. So AY want to move this to Z, also there is a something whole, so AZ. AX, AY, and AZ again. This rotation is about Y axis, so moment about Y is 0. This is about Z axis, so moment about Z is also 0, but rotation in this direction is in X direction. If you want to rotate here, both must be rotated. So it is a force that counter rotation. There is a moment in Z, in X direction. You call it as universal joint. Okay, so the next one is ball in a socket, a rough surface. Okay, ball in socket, rough surface. You can see that ball in the socket is like this one. You have this one. It is free to move in any direction. In rotate along Y axis is also okay. This is X, so along S axis is also okay. This is Z, so along Z axis, which is this rotation, is also allowed. Okay, so there will be no moment in Y, X, and Z axis for this one. There's no moment. Okay, but if you want to move this part alone upward, it cannot go because it is held by the socket downward. So there will be restricted in movement for Y axis, and then we want to move it here to Z, also cannot. In X also cannot. So there will be three forces and 0 moment. So there will be Z, there will be X, and there will be Y. So let's say this is AY. It is same as rough surface as if we have a rough surface now. Okay, different from frictionless, we can free to move. But rough surface, it can move, but there is a friction force. So there will be one friction here. In Z direction, also one friction here. Go down, you cannot because we have one more Y. But it's free to rotate on the surface, so there is no moment. So for ball and socket joint and rough surface, the reaction is same. No moment, but only 3 forces. Okay, so this is the ball and socket joint. Next, we have radial bearing. Radial bearing, let's say I have this bearing. Okay, so this bearing, so this is X, Y, and Z direction. So this bearing allow the rotation for this one. Allow this rotation. This is a radial bearing. Let's say this is a radial bearing. Okay, allow rotation for this one. This is not really a radial bearing. Now it is actually the axial thrust. But let's see, what is this difference between axial thrust and radial bearing? Radial bearing, okay, so radial bearing here is, it allows the rotation here in X direction, but it also allow the movement on X axis, meaning that this bearing can freely move. Okay, in this case, actually this is not radial bearing because it should be fixed on somewhere. It's not a radial bearing. It is a axial thrust bearing. But there's other type of bearing that you allow the movement in this direction also. The bearing is, you can see the ball inside that touch this shaft, so it can either rotate and also moving this direction. So that is, we call it as radial bearing. So you can freely move in along x-axis. So there's no forces in x. Moment also, but it cannot move in y direction or in z direction. So in this case, we have x is free. So we have a z and a y. Okay, so it cannot move in y because it is, if you fix this one, here 1 and second, it cannot move. Okay, and then free to rotate in x-axis. So there's no moment in x, but if you want to rotate in y direction, or in, where is the z? Here in z, this is y. This is z. Okay, this is y. So this rotation is y. Both it cannot rotate. But normally when you draw the free body diagram, in this figure you will see that there will be moment in y and moment in x. But it is explained to you here. Normally when you draw the free body diagram, we will not draw that moment in y and moment in x. We will not draw that one unless it is said there is a moment, because normally for this type of bearing, most of the system will be designed so that the bearing itself will not cater for these two moments. Okay, so even though in this figure there's these two moments, it is explained here. Hinge bearing support action, mainly designed to prevent translation into direction. That may also include two couples. Generally will not exert any appreciable couple unless stated otherwise. Okay, even though it is given here, when you draw the free body diagram, if there is not stated, you will ignore these two moments because of the normally design. They will not design for the bearing to exert any moment. Okay, now so this one, if nothing said, you just draw these two, no moment. Okay. Now, pin joint. Where is my pin joint? Okay, this one. Let's say this is a pin. Okay, so this is a pin. It is free to move along. Okay, this pin, this component alone cannot move in y, in x, in z direction. So same, we will have a z, a x, a y. Okay, these three direction. Pin joint, and then we will have, okay, and then you want to rotate in y-axis, okay, along x-axis. This is x, so along x-axis it can rotate. So there is no moment in x, but it cannot rotate in, this is z. Along z it cannot rotate. Along y also it cannot rotate because this part is hold still, so it can rotate this direction. Cannot rotate also this rotation here, cannot be here, but it can only rotate in y-axis. So in here there will be moment in y and moment in z. There's no moment in x because this is x, rotate along x-axis. This is x-axis, so along x-axis you can rotate. So only a y, x. And this one in the books they will show you this one. 1, 2, 3, a x, a y, a z. Also, in the book it shows the same thing as this one, but this one is for sure the moment is there. But for the axial thrust and radial bearing, okay, for the bearing that support radial movement and axial thrust, meaning that here we have this bearing, okay, this bearing different from the first one, it can freely move. Now this bearing, it fixes the bearing, the inner part of the bearing to the shaft. So it cannot move here, it cannot move, it is still. Okay, once it is still, we call it as axial thrust bearing. So it just only allow the rotation along this one, along x-axis. This is axis, so it only allow rotation in x-axis. So but the component cannot move in x, y and z. So different here from this one, because now it is blocked also in x direction, so we have x, y and z, all three locations. And also in the figure there will be, it is free to rotate in x direction, so there is definitely no moment in x axis, but it is possible to have moment in y, and also this is z, so this way. This is z, this is y, so along y, this is z, so this way. Okay, it is possible to have the moment along x and z, so moment in y, moment in z. It is possible to have that one, but normally, as also said in the figure, most of the bearing will be designed to not exert any appreciable moment. So if there is nothing said to you, you will ignore these two moments for the bearing. You just put the reaction in force, not the moment, unless the questions tell you that the bearing will exert moment, then you will do these two moments. In real life, there is for the test, for the exam, the question we will indicate to you. But in real life, you have to study yourself, see either the bearing will have moment or not. You have to identify. Okay, based on your design. Maybe this two part is whole fixed, and the component that hold the bearing itself is how it is designed. Either it can turn or not. If it can turn, yes, it will have some moment. But if this component up that hold the bearing, it cannot turn, it's rigid compared to relative to the shaft, so it will not moving any of it, so it just can have the rotation this way, so there will be no moment. So depend on your design in your real life. You have to study that one. Okay, so for the test, for our purpose of the class, it is depend. If the question nothing state, you will ignore the moment. Okay, if it stated that it will exert the moment, so you put that two moment. But in anyhow, you will not have any moment in x because it is free to rotate. This is the purpose of the bearing, the free rotation in x direction. When I said it is x, if the figure show you in z, you just put z. It doesn't matter. Okay, in rotation. If the bearing is whole in this direction, so it is in y, which is no moment. So it depends on the figure. Okay, that's all for reaction force. Later on we go to the how to solve the problem, where I will start by draw the free body diagram, and then do the sum of force, meaning that I will transform all the force in I, J and K, and then I will add together the force in I, force in J, force in K, equal to 0, equal to 0, equal to 0. Then I have three equations. Then I will do the same thing, but now for the moment. I will calculate the moment, choose wisely the point that can eliminate some unknown, and then I will have moment because maybe there is several forces. So let's say we have 4 forces. So 4 forces at different point will create 4 equations for the moment, and then you will add together all the moment in x, y, and z. So you have 3 more equations, equal to 0, equal to 0, equal to 0. Then you have 6 equations, you can solve the problem. Okay, that's how you solve for this equilibrium 3 dimension. Okay, thank you. So we'll see you later in the example.